I think one of the most important issues cricket has had to confront in 2015 is the return of Mohammad Amir. This is polarized opinion across the globe, and fans have, especially Pakistani fans, have felt very let down that someone who confessed to spot fixing and was jailed for it has been allowed to come back into the game. But equally, people in cricket themselves, several distinguished and eloquent voices, Michael Atherton from England leading the charge, talking about how he has done his time and therefore must be given a chance to rehabilitate himself in the game simply because of his age when he committed these crimes and the manner in which he accepted his mistakes and tried to set things right. This is not going to be an easy one, but 2016 will show us how cricket approaches these things in the future.
Given that India's pacers were under the scanner before the World Cup, the manner in which they stood up was brilliant. Heading into the semi-final, India bowled out the opposition 7 times in a row, and the combine of Mohammad Shami, Umesh Yadav, and Mohit Sharma had a big part to play. And for me personally, I think the performance of these three was very pleasing, and that was the highlight from India's World Cup campaign.
The standout for me this year has been Brendan McCullum and his New Zealand team. They're a pleasure to watch. They bring this positivity and excitement to the game that I think has been missing for a while. I think they've changed the way cricket is played this year.
There was a short series in November which had me really excited. The matches were in USA and teams were made up of legends we grew up watching. The players were of course a little scratchy and out of touch with the game, but then it's always a treat to watch Shane Warne bowling to Sachin Tendulkar or Virendra Sehwag batting against Wasim Akram, isn't it?
My highlight for the year is Dhoni's return to domestic cricket. I think it's the first time he's playing domestic cricket since 2007, and he played in this little place called Alur, which is on the outside of Bangalore. Around 200 odd people had turned out to see him play, and they were surprised by their proximity to the Indian captain. It was a bit strange because you're used to seeing Dhoni surrounded by some 30,000 people in concrete stands bellowing his name. It was also a bit surreal after the match when, opposition players were clamoring for his autograph and his selfies and whatnot. So yeah, it's not something I'm going to forget very soon.
2015 was a very significant year in terms of how the BCCI was run after all the goings on since really the 2013 spot fixing incident. Not just how it's run, but how it was perceived. And to start with, the recommendations of the Mudgal committee and then the actions of the Lodha panel were positive signs. And since then, whatever Shashank Manohar and Anurag Thakur have said, the noises they've made seem to suggest that things are changing. But whether it's all talk, all window dressing, or they're really serious about making things change, that's what really will run into 2016, and we'll have to keep an eye out and see how things pan out.
The moment that has stood out for me from 2015 has to be that Wahab Riaz spelled Shane Watson in the World Cup quarterfinal. I mean, we live in an era where batsmen are calling the shots and bowlers are generally, at times reduced to, say, bowling machines. And to see a fast bowler steam in and bowl like that in the world's biggest stage was something that was superb to witness for everyone, following the World Cup. So it had everything that a great spell should have. Bouncers, ball whizzing past the helmet and all that, and some words as well. So Watson did well to survive it, but I guess the match could have been very different had Rahat Ali held on to that catch in the deep.
I think Grant Elliott extending his hand to Dale Steyn is undoubtedly the image of the year for me. Given the context of the match, a World Cup semi-final, the caliber of the players involved on both sides, and the quality of play itself, it's probably the match of the year, and that gesture just made it, elevated it to a different level. And when Dale Steyn spoke about it later, about the loss in the semi-finals hurting, he just said that 4 years and it's gone just like that. And he admitted that he was still not over it. But he said, it's tough, but it's life, and I understand that. And I'd like to think maybe that gesture of Elliott's could have helped Steyn and the other South Africans get over that heartbreaking loss just a little bit.
My favorite 2015 cricketing moment will be Kane Williamson's winning 6 against Australia in the league match. People may remember it for many things like Bolt and Southeast spells, or McCullum's whistling knob, or even Mitchell Stark's steal spell. But for me, what will remain etched in my memory will always be Kane Williamson's long on 6 and the way he punched his fist in the air.
2015 has been a wonderful year for women cricketers in India. The central contract has just started, but it effectively means that one can finally aspire to be full-time professionals, and it can only be good in the larger context.
I think the moment that stood out for me this season was AB de Villiers' 100 against West Indies. He came off 31 balls, that's one thing, but to hit 16 sixes and bring it up the way he did is quite something else.
For me, the undoubted highlight of the year was the pink ball test. 120,000 people came through the turnstiles in 3 days, and it gave us a glimpse of what test cricket could be in the future.
My moment in cricket in 2015 is Zimbabwe's decision to tour Pakistan in May, which itself is heroic considering that no team has travelled to Pakistan since those unfortunate attacks in the Sri Lankan team in 2009. I don't know if it paved way for the rest of the teams to travel to Pakistan, but what the Zimbabwe players showed, the character, was commendable.
The passing of Richie Benaud is a very sad incident that happened last year. We lost a great cricketer and a great media personality. He's a great commentator, as in some of his greatest lines are commentating on the unrun bowling incident of the Chappell brothers and the greatest ball of the century by Shane Warne. Yeah, so losing such a personality is a great loss to the cricketing world, and I feel it's a big loss.